Today we're here to start you on your journey to a safe and successful bareback riding. My name is Jody Tuft. I've been riding bareback on horses since I was 5 years old. The earlier you start, the easier it is for your muscles to develop memory. I could possibly not ride for 2 years and still get on a horse and be able to ride better than most people who've been doing it for years, simply because my muscles have been trained that. They react without me even thinking. Often people come to me wanting to learn bareback, and as they get older, it becomes more difficult. Your muscles are not as strong, your balance may be not quite as good. You will have to work harder and try harder at it to get as good as maybe somebody that's younger. That's the genetics of it. There are several ways to mount properly, improperly. I'm going to show you how I mount. I've mounted horses that way since I was a little child, when I was about 5. Once I was tall enough to actually hop up on the horse. I'll show you that way, and then I'll show you the way that is safe for most people, which is with the mounting block. From the mounting block is absolutely the safest way, especially when you're just learning to get on, because most people are accustomed to putting their foot in a stirrup, swinging over. So it's really important that the beginning of your mounting experience is a good one. And sometimes I'll lay here like this to prepare the horse. Proper body and leg position is very important. Keeping your toes up so that your heels are in the downward position as if you were riding with a saddle with stirrups, so that your lower leg is not connecting with the horse. Because if your lower leg connects with the horse like this, it generally means that the horse needs to go faster. We don't want the horse thinking that. If you do not have a steady hand and cannot stay off the horse's mouth while balancing, then you need to perhaps ride with a halter, even with the reins attached to the side, so that you're not harming the animal's mouth, you're not making it overreact, you're not making it flip up and lose control. I obviously have a full bridle on this horse. That is not your typical way to teach somebody to ride bareback, because they're going to be way too heavy, their hands are going to move and flop, and you don't want to be pulling on the horse's mouth or harming them. Absolutely, it's very important that everybody start off walking, and for a while. I don't just mean walking in a straight line, walking and turning, walking and stopping, all your transitions, which is the stopping, etc., between the speeds, walk, trot, canter, your walk to trot, your trot to walk, etc. It's really important to practice all that before you go to the next higher speed or stage. Some people will never be comfortable doing anything more than a walk, and that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You still have that feeling from your horse. You still have that skin on skin, and your horse can feel you more than they ever can through the saddle. It's really important, the conformation of a horse for riding bareback. Some horses absolutely, like this horse, are ideal for bareback riding. He's nice and broad, which makes it easy to balance through your seat bones. A horse with high withers, say a thoroughbred, quite a bit more difficult to ride. The bone obviously going to be in a position to be causing you discomfort. Much smaller horses can be narrow and can be difficult to balance on, just like a board. Ideally 15 hands or around there, depending on your size, is a great size of horse to learn off of. Everybody's got different size horses. You can make it work on other size horses. I'm just talking about for safety purposes. A smaller, not so large horse can be easier to mount and can be easier to come off of, and if that case happens. Ideally, the better physical condition you're in, the easier it's going to be to learn. The younger you are, the easier it is to learn. I started riding when I was 5. I didn't ride in a saddle for the first 7 years I rode. This made it very important to learn to balance. If you can do some stretches before mounting, that's a good idea. It warms your muscles up. Anything like as in a squat or a crouch down where you're having to use these muscles here, it'll warm your muscles up and prepare you for getting on and staying on. through here and the shifting of this that your horse feels you and that you can feel your horse. If you are leaning to the right, the horse is going to want to go to the right with you. If you're leaning to the left, the same thing. So if your balance is off, you might be telling the horse to go one way and you might be meaning the other way. So it's very important that you know where you're shifting to through here. And it's only through here that you're going to be leaning. You're not going to be leaning your upper body. It throws you off balance, especially riding bareback. It's really important that you keep your upper body straight and your shoulders back and only move through your pelvis and your hips. Something very important when you're learning to ride in any shape or form is your breathing. And as you need to be relaxed, you need to be breathing deeply. Make sure that you're breathing at all. Some people absolutely hold their breath while they're on a horse. You need to make sure you're breathing, because if you're not, your whole upper body locks up. You're unable to feel the horse. The horse will feel your tenseness. It will be unable to feel your seat moving with them, which is what you want. You want your hips and your seat to absolutely be moving with the rhythm of the horse. So this was your quick look at learning to bareback ride. I hope you learned today how to properly mount a horse that might be suitable for bareback riding. Some exercises you might continue to do, along with your breathing, along with just walking, along with learning to feel your horse, along with possibly riding with a bareback pad. You can start to use the poles and the barrels, as you saw me earlier, riding around the barrels, using your legs to properly control the animal without squeezing his lower body, which then does tell him to go, which is a mistake a lot of people make. It's truly important for your own safety and for the animals that you start your bareback riding experience in a small, controlled environment with as little stimulation as possible to the animal. Any horse can spook. They are flight animals. We don't want that happening when you're learning to ride bareback. So, for example, this round pen here, which is 70 foot, it's an ideal place to learn in a safe environment. Hopefully today's lesson will get you started on your journey to successful bareback riding.